Welcome to your Health Facts podcast. Today we're going to be discussing steroid use. It's a critical issue that's affecting millions worldwide. You might think this only really applies to athletes or bodybuilders, but its reach is actually a lot broader than that, and the implications are really quite dire. So today we'll unpack some of the startling statistics about steroid use. We'll delve into the science behind how these substances work, and we'll explore the alarming health risks that they can pose.
Yeah, studies actually reveal that an estimated 3.3% of the global population has used anabolic steroids at some point in their lives. So that translates to a really significant number, especially when you consider that estimates suggest around 30% of bodybuilders and athletes use steroids. But surprisingly, the majority of steroid users are actually non-athletes. Approximately 80% are simply seeking to enhance their physique. In the U.S. alone, estimations point to about 1.3 to 4 million individuals having used anabolic steroids, and there's an additional 100,000 new users every year. Alarmingly, a significant portion, up to 35%, actually develop a dependency on these substances.
Wow, it's incredible how readily available these things seem to be. You, what are your thoughts on the accessibility of steroids?
Well, it is a major concern. It's really quite staggering to think that 71% of users obtain them online, 24% get them from gym dealers, and 19% through international mail orders. Only a mere 11% actually procure them through prescriptions. This lack of regulation really raises some serious safety concerns because it makes it virtually impossible to know the actual composition of these substances. And many users further amplify this risk by engaging in something called stacking. They combine multiple steroids or progressively increase their dosage. And in doing so, they expose themselves to this cocktail of unregulated substances with potentially really harmful effects.
So let's get down to the basics. What exactly are anabolic steroids?
Well, essentially, they are synthetic variations of the male hormone testosterone. They're often misused for muscle growth and performance enhancement. When ingested or injected, they enter the bloodstream and they bind to what are called androgen receptors in various tissues, and this ultimately alters gene expression. For instance, to facilitate muscle growth, they bind to receptors in muscle tissue, and they stimulate protein synthesis and increase muscle mass and strength. This accelerated muscle development compared to non-enhanced individuals can be a powerful motivator for some.
It's incredible how these steroids can actually impact muscle development. Have there been any studies to sort of demonstrate this effect?
Oh yeah, research really highlights the potent effect of anabolic steroids on rapid muscle development. There was a 1996 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine. It documented significant muscle gain in men who were administered 600 milligrams of testosterone weekly for 10 weeks. And those participants, on average, gained 6.1 kilograms of lean body mass. And they experienced a 22% increase in bench press strength. Another study in 1999 showed an average gain of 4.5 kilograms of lean body mass in men taking 100 milligrams of nandrolone weekly for 6 months. While these short-term results may appear appealing, the long-term repercussions of prolonged high-dose anabolic steroid use are really quite severe, and they can impact multiple organ systems.
So you're saying that there's some pretty serious health risks involved.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific risks that we should be aware of?
Well, the cardiovascular system is particularly susceptible to the detrimental effects of anabolic steroids. Compared to non-users, anabolic steroid users face a 15 times higher risk of heart attack and a 122 times greater likelihood of premature death. Autopsy studies of steroid abusers often reveal extensive heart damage. This includes things like scarring and enlarged heart chambers, which likely contributes to this premature mortality that we're seeing. Anabolic steroids can contribute to heart problems due to muscle enlargement. This includes the heart's left ventricle, and the elevated testosterone levels that result from steroid use can actually lead to blood vessel narrowing, and that increases the risk of clotting.
I see. So the heart is definitely a risk.
Yeah.
But what about other parts of the body? Are there any other organs that are particularly vulnerable to these effects?
Well, yeah, in addition to blood vessel narrowing, blood thickening from high steroid doses further elevates the risk of blood clots. Steroids also activate something called the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. This is a crucial system for regulating blood pressure, fluid balance, and electrolytes. Consequently, steroid use can result in increased blood pressure, and it can negatively impact cholesterol levels, both of which contribute to atherosclerosis and heart attack risk. The liver is another organ that's really vulnerable to the effects of anabolic steroids, particularly oral anabolic steroids. This is especially true for those classified as 17-alpha alkylated. They can cause liver toxicity, various liver conditions, and even liver tumors.
So it sounds like steroid use can really wreak havoc on the body's hormonal balance. What are some of the effects on the endocrine system?
Well, anabolic steroids disrupt the body's natural hormonal balance by suppressing natural testosterone and sperm production. This can lead to testicular shrinkage and potentially infertility. Now, you might assume that increased testosterone would enhance libido and erectile function. But research actually reveals a very different story. A study surveying 231 anabolic steroid users found that while they experienced good erectile function during steroid use, they reported higher rates of new onset erectile dysfunction and decreased libido after discontinuing use. And those who used steroids more frequently and for longer durations were more susceptible to these sexual side effects.
That's really fascinating. So essentially, the body becomes dependent on these external sources of testosterone. And when it's taken away, it struggles to regain its natural balance. But what about the psychological effects? We've talked about the physical impacts, but are there mental health risks associated with steroid use as well?
Yeah, high doses of anabolic steroids have actually been linked to a range of mental health issues. These can include mood swings, heightened aggression, anxiety, and impulsivity. And these effects are particularly prevalent in individuals who develop a dependence on steroids. Brain imaging studies have revealed structural changes in the brains of long-term steroid users, specifically a thinner cortex in areas like the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for impulse control and emotional regulation. These alterations likely contribute to the increased aggression observed in this population. And the withdrawal period after ceasing steroid use can further exacerbate these psychological issues, potentially leading to depression and other mental health challenges.
It's scary to think that even our kidneys can be affected by this. Are there any other long-term effects on the kidneys that we should be concerned about?
Yeah, so the kidneys aren't immune to the detrimental effects of chronic steroid use. The increased muscle mass resulting from steroid use can actually, coupled with the direct toxic effects of these substances on the kidneys, can contribute to kidney disease. Furthermore, the enhanced muscle strength gained from steroid use can place excessive strain on tendons, and this leads to a higher risk of tendon ruptures and injuries. Steroids can also disrupt the natural structure and repair mechanisms of tendons, further increasing the likelihood of tendon damage. And this can result in chronic pain, potentially leading to a vicious cycle of pain medication reliance and continued steroid use. In extreme cases, intense physical exertion while on steroids can lead to rhabdomyolysis. This is a serious condition where damaged muscle fibers release their contents into the bloodstream. And this can cause kidney failure and require hospitalization. And, beyond the physical ramifications, long-term steroid use carries significant financial burdens as well.
Oh, I can imagine. So how does the financial burden play into all of this?
Well, maintaining a consistent supply of these substances over extended periods can be really expensive. And this potentially leads individuals to engage in, risky or illegal activities to fund their habit.
It's just a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
Are there any other less severe but still significant side effects that we should be aware of?
Well, like testosterone replacement therapy, anabolic steroid use can also lead to acne and hair loss. Interestingly, steroids can also suppress the immune system, increasing the susceptibility to infections. And this risk is further amplified if users share needles, which can transmit bloodborne diseases.
It's just mind-boggling how people can risk so much for these temporary gains. Why do you think steroids are so alluring to people despite all these dangers?
Well, it's crucial to recognize the allure of steroids for individuals seeking to enhance their physical appearance. The desire for a more muscular physique can be a powerful motivator, particularly in a society that often equates physical appearance with success and attractiveness. However, it's imperative to emphasize the serious health risks associated with steroid use.
Absolutely, and it's so important to create a space where people can talk about this openly. What can we do to encourage people to seek help rather than resorting to steroids?
I think openly discussing these risks and fostering a supportive environment where individuals feel comfortable seeking professional medical help is paramount. Healthcare providers can play a crucial role in educating patients about the dangers of steroids and providing guidance on safe and effective alternatives for achieving fitness goals and offering support for those struggling with body image concerns or steroid dependence.
It's all about making informed choices and prioritizing our health. For more insights into maintaining your health and well-being, subscribe to yourhealthfacts.com. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating health topic.
Stay informed and stay healthy.